Well, I'll be darned. Letterman's had sex. I would preface this with some religious platitudes like, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, or he who is without sin cast the first stone. But I just recently decided to turn atheist, so those kind of religious platitudes really don't work on me anymore, but they might still work on you. Did David Letterman have sex with women half his age before or after his heart transplant surgery? I mean, what's the cause and effect here? I don't watch 30 Rock much myself, but is this kind of like Alec Baldwin and Tina Fey boinging? Because if that's the case, I really don't see the problem. Tina Fey might see a problem with that. David Letterman could turn this into a running gag if he wants to. In fact, I would recommend that he do that until we all get sick of it. Admittedly, that would be about 2 days ago. He should just milk this for all it's worth. Of course women want to have sex with him. The Ed Sullivan Theater has always been a chick magnet. Letterman has always gone out of his way to keep his private life private. And we've always known why. It's just uncool to talk about it. Why? You know why. We've always known why. It's David Letterman. He's like America's dirty, creepy, rich uncle. Creepy, rich, funny uncle. Every Thanksgiving tells you to pull his finger. I mean, it's David Letterman. It's Dave. It's Dave. Of course he's gonna fool around. It's Dave. Anybody who thinks that someone who has $100 million and is the king of late night, big deal. I mean, we can't hold him up to some kind of high exalting level of he's a comedian. Comedians are supposed to sleep around. I think it's like part of the description of their job. Letterman's blackmailer was asking for a big whopping $2 million. Who was he? So who is Haldeman? That's a good question. Robert Haldeman is a producer, writer, and director for CBS News. Most recently, he was working for 48 Hours, a news magazine program on CBS. I should perhaps use the past tense because I think he's been suspended pending the trial. This, by the way, is the same network that The Late Show with David Letterman happens to be broadcast on. Isn't that convenient? And if you follow the rumor mill, or news, as it's called nowadays, Robert Haldeman has had a relationship with Stephanie Burkett, who was known as Monty or Vicky on the David Letterman show not too many years ago. She used to be a semi-regular on the show, and she's worked on the staff for many years. I don't want to go there. Staff. Okay, that was bad. Oh, that was bad. Haldeman allegedly was sleeping with Stephanie, who is the same woman who David Letterman was allegedly sleeping with. In fact, some reports indicate that there was a romantic triangle going on between these three as late as August 2009. Somewhere in all this mess, though, David Letterman married a woman who had his child and ended his relationship with Stephanie Burkett. Haldeman got Stephanie Burkett's diary, which is that's kind of sneaky. Hinky, I think is the appropriate word. Hinky. And he decided to use Stephanie Burkett's diary as evidence to do all these horrible things to Dave. Allegedly. But Haldeman's defense attorney is going to be hard-pressed to find you 12 people to sit in a jury that don't watch late night or have never heard about this. A great comedian by the name of Mel Brooks once said, "Tragedy is I stub my toe. Comedy is you fall in a manhole and die." Tragedy is I stub my toe. Comedy is Letterman gets blackmailed for $2 million and puts his private life on display so we can all gawk and point at him. Quite frankly, I don't buy it. The world should see this evidence. Letterman admitting to it is not enough. We need proof. How do we know he could even have sex? If anything, this is going to boost Letterman's ratings. O'Brien's going to have to hire someone to blackmail him so that he can keep up. Of course, my opinion will get you a cup of coffee at Starbucks if you have $5 along with my opinion. David Letterman is a human being, and he is prone to fallibility, just as we all are. Anyone who looks at this situation and scoffs or acts surprised, he's not a pope, he's not a saint, He's not running for public office. He's a comedian. He's never pretended to be mightier than thou or holier than thou. Yes, he's cracked jokes about people with their transgressions, but that's because he knew you would laugh, not because he was immune to such behavior. And now that he's being held accountable for his own actions, he's using it for humor. He's using it to make people laugh, which is his job. He gets paid to make you laugh. He doesn't get paid to determine whether or not he keeps his penis in his pants. Now, granted, perhaps he should have. That's between him and his wife to decide. Perhaps between him and whichever deity he chooses to believe in. But it's not between you and me. We have no bearing on it. Now, if you personally want to use your religious fervor or higher than thou, mightier than thou platitudes to determine that this is a deal breaker for you, that you can't hang with Letterman now and he can no longer make you laugh because he's proven himself to be fallible and human, then by all means, stop watching him. He doesn't want your audience anyway. So enjoy this for what it is. It's funny. It's funny. He's been cracking jokes about Clinton for decades and others before that. I mean, and now he just has to look in the mirror. I think this is beautiful. I don't think it's just desserts. People who are doing that's just cruel. But it is funny.